Okay. Welcome back to the pod. Your hair's stuck in the vine. Okay, you got it.
It was just stuck in the mic, too.
It has that tendency.
Yeah, it
to
does.
just
It gets stuck in things.
We're having pickle martinis today.
Do you need like an ASMR of that?
With gin.
Gross. I hate that I did that.
No, it sounded good. Yum. So salty. That's Unfortunate with Torrie and Courtney. Today's episode is all about Phantasma. This month's book for the book club. So basically, I've took some notes and I'm just gonna kind of recap the book in general. And Courtney, jump in if I forget anything.
So if anybody has not read it and cares about it, spoilers. Probably a lot.
Yeah. I'm basically just gonna tell like the whole thing of the book.
whole book.
So
Yeah.
Does this look okay? What's going on over here?
It's a little floofy. Like you have too much out.
Hold on. I did this new thing where I braided. Well, it's not new. I used to do it when I had long hair.
Yeah?
Where I braided my hair before I went to sleep while it was wet, and so then it came out a little wavy.
Yeah. I think it looks nice.
Thanks.
Like natural beach waves.
Oh, thank you. Does this look okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I got this new app called AI Notebook, and it, like, as you speak to it, it writes it down.
Oh, cool.
So I did that on the drive home.
Oh my gosh.
Because I was worried that I would forget something.
That's a good time to do it. I feel like whenever I drive, I have such good thoughts.
Yeah.
I use voice to text while I drive, like in my notes app. But your AI thing sounds cool.
I couldn't figure it out in my notes app. You'll have to show me before you leave.
It's just like,
Because I downloaded a whole app for this.
that's okay.
Okay.
I mean, that's unfortunate.
That's unfortunate. So yeah, this is Phantasma by Kaylie Smith. The only thing deadlier than losing the game is losing your heart. It's a little thick. And it's went viral.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's loving it. So we open up the book and we have two sisters finding their mother deceased. In the living room floor, she's just laid out.
Mm-hmm.
And we find out that they are necromancers in New Orleans. It's like a family business. And she has to basically do a little spell and take in her mother's magic and continue the line. The oldest sister, which her name is Ophelia, and the little sister is
Genevieve.
Genevieve. We'll say that.
Yeah, the whole like turning into a necromancer or just like taking on all of the mom's magic, her whole family line's magic.
Yeah.
Was interesting.
Yeah.
What a way to start a book.
Yeah. And so, like, necromancers basically, like, they can just, like, revive the dead for a second. And you can kind of just
talk to the dead.
Yeah. So, family business is people are coming to their home that they've had in their family for generations and being like, hey, we'll pay you this money. You bring back my dead girlfriend and make her tell the cops
to her and,
that I didn't kill her.
Or there's bad things. There's a ghoul in my closet. Come and take it out of my closet. Sounds like a cool job.
Yeah. But on the other hand, she does start seeing dead people all around her. And some of them try to mess with her. So she's dealing with that. So she takes that on. And then like the next morning, these debt collectors come. And they're like, hey, come to the office with us, the bank. We've got some stuff to talk about your mom. They get there, they basically tell her, yeah, we're going to take that house from y'all because...
It's been in your family for 100+ generation. Years, not generations.
Because your mother has taken out, like, a lot of loans against the home. And she's like, what? Like, why would she do that? She's so serious about this family thingy-mabob. And
our family's fine. Our family makes good money. We'll be fine.
And she looks over at her sister, and her sister looks kind of like she might know something about it. And she's like, what's going on? And they're basically just saying they're going to like bulldoze the house and make it into a condo in New Orleans. And so she's like, her sister's being really weird about it. They get into a fight. Her sister runs off. As she's walking home, she comes across this spooky little area. And she walks in there, and there's something weird in there. I don't know. It goes away.
A vibe.
There's a weird vibe in there.
Energy.
She walks over there. She hears this super hot guy talking to her. And she's like, hey. And he's like, what's up? And they're vibing. She can't see him. She doesn't know that he's hot. She just gets that vibe that he's definitely hot.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I'm trapped here. And she's like, oh, well, how can I help you? Because that's what she does. That's what her mom's been training her to do her whole life.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, you can't. Hope I never see you again. But to get out, I need a heart and a key. Oh my gosh, I forgot a main point. When her mom died, she had on a heart necklace. Like a heart little locket. And
you just gave away the whole...
She has to wear it. I'm sorry. Well, they gave it away.
Yeah, true.
It's a little heart locket, and she puts it on. She doesn't know why she has to wear it. She just does. And so when he says, I need a heart and a key, like that's where my mind went first. It was
Same.
like, oh, obviously she has
wearing
that.
It. Yeah.
We are reading romantasy.
We're coming back to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously.
So I'm like, okay, obvious. We've got the heart around her neck, but that's fine. He's like, hope I never see you again. So she leaves.
She goes home.
She goes home. She finds out her sister's gone.
Yeah. But then she just goes to bed.
She just goes right to bed. She says,
yeah, she's mad at me. She'll come back.
Yeah. She wakes up the next morning. Her sister's still not there. So then she searches all around for her. Goes directly to some journals.
She did write a note, though. Her sister wrote a note that said, like,
oh, yeah,
I'm going to fix everything. I'll be back. Don't worry.
So we're thinking that she's gone off to somehow figure out the debt situation. Well, she's freaking out. So she goes to her diaries. She's reading all through them. Turns out she's obsessed with something called Phantasma, which has been mentioned a couple of times throughout this whole first part of the book. Basically, like some trials that the devil sends to random parts of the world, and it just pops up, and people can enter and like
then get the favor of a devil if you win.
Yeah, so like you basically get a wish at the end of it. If you win, you can wish for like literally anything. So she figures that's where her sister's gone. Also in the notes, it says find Gabriel. We don't know who Gabriel is at this point. But so then Ophelia's like, okay, well, I'm about to go
enter into Phantasma.
Enter Phantasma as well, because I have to find my sister. Also, you can like literally die in here. Like die
Phantasma?
in Phantasma. It's not just some like, oh, fun thing.
I want to eat this olive.
Do it, girl. She goes up to the gates of Phantasma. And there's a devil there. And he's like, I need your darkest fear. That's the payment to enter. The trial is to give your fear. He like reaches into her and figures it out. Which was weird. And he also says there's just one rule. Don't fall in love. She's like, okay, no problem.
Obviously,
don't have to worry about that partner. But we know what's happening here. And he also says, like, you can submit, like, withdraw at any time as long as it's not during the trial. So basically, what is it? 9 levels of hell? There's 9 levels of hell, and there's a trial on each level. It's not really hell. It's like a simulation of hell. Each level is like a different trial. So if you're in the trial, you cannot withdraw. The only way you can withdraw is if you make a deal with that certain devil over that trial. But so she's staying there for 9 days anyways. So any of the other time of her just sleeping, eating, doing whatever, she can, like, anybody can just be like, hey, I'm done. And tap out.
Yeah. And they just have to say their full name and that they want to leave.
Yeah. And during the trial, if you figure out, like, oh, I can't do this, if you can make it before you're actually going to die, you can make a deal with that devil. It's like, giving up some of your life, giving up your soul. I don't know what the deals are. She doesn't elaborate on that.
No.
At all. So we're not sure what happens. But we're also
told making a deal with the devil is horrible.
Yes. That has been mentioned multiple times. Do not make a deal. Do not. No bargains. Nothing. So, of course, as soon as she enters Phantasma, she does come across a phantom. Which immediately made me think of Danny Phantom. His name is Blackwell. Turns out he's the guy that she met in the spooky area. Mm-hmm. That she couldn't see.
He doesn't remember her.
Doesn't remember her.
She's super fucking pissed.
She's mad.
I don't blame her. Somebody didn't remember me the afternoon after I met them.
Yeah, the very next day. The timeline's rolling.
When they say stuff like, I hope I never meet you again.
Yeah.
What does he call her?
Angel.
Which
we will come back to. He calls her Angel all the time.
Yeah.
He called her Angel that first night. That was the first night he met her. She couldn't see him. He called her Angel.
Yes. That's how she realized, oh, that's definitely him, because he called her Angel again.
Yeah.
And then she unraveled in anger.
Yeah. So she's mad that he doesn't remember her. And like just based off of his vibe and the angel thing, she's like, oh my God, like I met you last night. What do you mean? Yeah. He's like, well, I don't remember that. And actually, I don't remember much of anything. Because I've been cursed here. I'm stuck here. And I can only remember what happens during
the trials.
The trials of Phantasma. So like anytime that Phantasma's popping between cities, he's not remembering anything in between. So she's like, oh, okay, well, crazy. You told me last night how to get you out of here. He's like, what? Let me know. And so she says, you need a heart and a key. He's like, well, that means nothing to me.
But also, help me find the heart and the key.
Let's make a deal. Mm-hmm. You know, she plays hard to get for a second.
Yeah, she's like, well, you're not a devil.
But still. So... Yeah, she plays hard to get for a second. Mm-hmm. And then there's these things called
like a whole day though. So she goes through the first trial without him, because the deal that he's trying to give her is that like he'll help her win so she can make it out alive, because everybody dies.
Yeah,
pretty much. In exchange for 10 years of her life.
10 years of her life. Unless she finds the heart and the key.
And then
she doesn't have to forfeit any of her life. So she goes through the first trial. And also there's these things called haunts, which are just like really scary things that they put in their bedrooms.
Constantly.
Like scary monster crawling out of her drain, bleeding and chasing her. Blood rain, which she does love that part. But so he pops back in eventually. And he's like, hey, how about that deal? And she's like, actually, yeah.
I need your help now.
I just really need to find my sister. Also, her sister, there's like groups of them. And they're all in different wings. And they can't mingle until after they finish the 7th trial. So, basically... she just really wants to find her sister. She didn't really care about like the wish at the end. She just wants her sister.
Yeah.
We get to the trials, and like I'm really into the trial thing, like the Hunger Games, all that. We kind of just breeze right through them. I didn't love that. Each trial is led by a different devil, so that was really interesting. But also, we didn't really hear much about them. And then the trials were like 3 pages, and they were really simple things like. Pull this lever, look under that bed, and there's an escape door. Yeah, I mean there's a little bit, but I think it could have been
more detailed. Puzzle something. Yeah, and it's supposed to be based on the 9 deadly sins. Yeah, so it's like gluttony, lust. Is gluttony greed the right word?
Gluttony, I think.
Whew. My brain short-circuited. They
didn't give us a lot of info on them.
Yeah. It was, And I feel like that could have been so much of the book. Like, I would have gobbled that up for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
If it had been, but it was supposed to only be one day. You know, it's like an hour-long trial or something, so.
Which I get, but I just think that, I don't know. They just kind of breezed right over it, and I could have just used a little more. I think it just had a lot of potential. No, it's great.
I think it had a lot of potential, too,
and I think that she just kind of dropped the ball a little. I'm not, I was still entertained. It was fine.
Yeah, me too.
So and it was always really easy. Like, she knew she was going to win because she could just call Blackwell in there and he would just like, yeah, do this. Yeah. Because the trials are the same every time. Mm-hmm. So he just knew where everything was.
Mm-hmm. The only time that I thought it was good was whenever, I think it was the lust one.
Yeah.
And it like went from one scene to where she was with Blackwell and she didn't remember. Like, she had to drink a potion. Mm-hmm. And she didn't remember what was going on. She was just so like happy and la-di-da. Yeah. That she then ran into Blackwell and she was like, what are you doing here? Mm-hmm. Let's fuck. Yeah. Which they didn't, but
because it wasn't really him.
She found out it wasn't him.
Yeah. They were trying to get her in there. Like, and if you gave into your lust.
Believe it, that it was him at first.
I did too. Yeah.
Until, there's like a moment where he said something and she was like, oh, you're not Blackwell?
Yeah.
Blackwell.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, she had to say his name 3 times to like call him like Beetlejuice, so that was something. So obviously they start fucking like a whole lot.
Yeah.
They're hooking up. They're saying, every 2 seconds they're being like, no, we shouldn't do this. And then she'd like have a near-death experience and she'd be like, actually, come here. Let's bang.
Mm-hmm. It'll make me feel better.
Which almost made me be like, girl, hot phantom, please stop treating him this way.
Just get it over with.
Yeah.
Have more.
And then at some point, they're still looking for the heart and the key. No one's brought up the locket around her neck, but that's fine. And they are in this room that they're in the library, and she flips the wall around, IDK, and she sees something on the floor. Long story short, we figured out that, what's the guy's name?
Gabriel
is her dad.
Before we get into her and her sister's dad, I also think like the whole them searching for the heart and the key around the whole house, I feel like the way that the manor, it was a manor, was described, I needed more for my brain to like picture it. You know, like I feel like the way that the wall was moving needed to be described. The way that the library layout was like, like sometimes I read something and I can picture it in my mind. I know exactly what's going on. This one I feel like I was struggling to picture it in my mind.
I think we spent a lot of time on like the color of the curtains and not like the layout.
Mm-hmm. Or just like there's a lot of blood raining on me, but like, oh, okay. What else is,
I think I kind of just used my like own imagination to come up with what it looked like, but I think you're right. Yeah.
I think I did too. But then whenever I got done reading it, I like looked up the next book. And did you know that the Phantom, he's supposed to have like white hair?
I wasn't reading him that way.
Blackwell. Neither was I.
I was reading him as Henry Cavill.
Okay,
in Phantom
but
form.
You do that with
every book ever.
Yeah.
But I did, I went on to TikTok and like watched a bunch of TikToks about it.
Yeah.
After I finished.
Yeah.
To see if everyone else was agreeing with me. Mm-hmm. And someone said he had white hair, and I was like,
Missed that.
Yeah. But okay.
But so I don't know. Was that in the book? Like, did they talk about that in the book? Or is that like the art that came later?
I don't know.
I also don't know because I missed it if it was in the book.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, Dad, Papa Gabriel, that they don't know about until they see his name on the floor. And then, and then Blackwell gets into contact with another devil. And the other devil is like, fine, you're going to do me a favor. Here's the ledger of 1 million different phantasmas. Yeah. And it sounds like it's the world's largest book with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of names.
Yeah.
And they go through it. And then they find Gabriel.
Which they go through it. And then this other devil comes in and he's like, hey, hot girl. Why don't you ask your little boyfriend why he hadn't showed you page 108 or something? Uh-huh. And she's like, oh my gosh, Blackwell would never. She goes to him, hey, where's page 108 or whatever page? I don't know what it was. And he's like, oh my gosh, I didn't want to show you. It's literally last year's trials with Gabriel's name on there. And she's like,
no. It's not last year's. It's however old she is, minus a year or two. I thought it was the page that had her mom's name on it.
Okay, yeah. You're right. Yeah. Because it
had Gabriel's name on it and her mom's name on it.
Yeah, so this is how we find out that they've both been in Phantasma. That's how they met. Which brings up the point of you're not supposed to fall in love in here or you'll be cursed.
So that's what happened to them. Was she conceived at Phantasma? Is that what they said?
I believe so, yeah.
Hell yeah.
She was conceived there. They ended up leaving the trials and they were both cursed and they conceived the little sister. But part of the curse is somehow relayed to us as like he gets more obsessed with her as she gets more like icked out by him. So he's getting like crazy obsessed. So eventually she like hires a witch or something and it's like, hey, can you make him forget about us?
Devil.
Oh, hires a devil.
Yeah. They all make deals with devils.
And she told her not to make any deals.
And she did it herself.
And so she's like, hey, can you make him forget about us? Because he's freaking me out. We got to hide. And they're like, sure. So they do that. But then the curse of Phantasma is overruling that deal. So he starts remembering them. So
remembering her. I don't know that he remembered the daughters.
Right. Well, at least remembering her. Yeah. You're right.
But that's how his name was in the ledger a second time, was he went back to try to like get her back.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm going to do Phantasma. I'm going to win. And then I'll be able to find her and win her back.
Yeah. So he was going to use his wish to get her back. And that was the last one.
Yeah. And we only know all of those things happened because Blackwell knew those things.
Yeah. But he was keeping them from her for so long. Not, you know,
Did he know?
He didn't know.
He probably didn't know that was her mom.
Yeah. Until he did.
Yeah.
And then he kind of was hiding the page from her.
Yeah.
And
but
then
just for like one
also,
night.
Gabriel, you had him in your trials last time. You could have said, oh, Gabriel, yeah, I remember all that. Like, he remembers everything there. That was weird. And we just breezed right over that.
Yeah.
She wasn't mad.
Nah.
She was just like, all right.
Well, she was going to get another orgasm, so she was okay.
She sure was. And that was at some point when the blood rain came in and they're just banging and the blood starts pouring from the ceiling. And he's like, oh, let me take care of that. Because he snaps his fingers and things go away. And she's like, nah, it's cool.
She's like, my favorite color is red, actually.
Actually, sounds great. Let's bang in this blood. So she goes through like all the trials. And she gets to like the 7th one. She ends up killing a guy that had been bothering her a lot.
What was bothering her? He tried to kill her a lot.
He tried to kill her a lot. Lots of weird things. He was
terrible. It sounded like.
Also, that like greatest fear that you gave them to get in, they would just use it randomly. And they hadn't used it until they did, and it was clear. Like, I think that they were trying to trick us, or the author was trying to trick us and be like, "Oh, she left this trial, and this is what happened." But I clearly knew. I was like, yeah. We're in her greatest fear right now.
Yeah.
So, and then she got out of it and it was fine.
Yeah. It seemed like that happened a lot where, like, the author was trying to be really clever. I'm sorry, Kaylie.
Kaylie, you wrote a book and published it. I did not.
You're amazing.
Being mean to you at all. I'm just talking about it.
But it's like they were trying to be, like, sneaky sneaks and come up with something. And I was just like, I solved it. Sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I wanted to be wrong, actually. That's what I wanted so badly. But.
And so she ends up getting out and she goes back to her room with Blackwell and they just go at it. You know what I'm saying? And you may have forgotten that she's here to find her sister. So did I. And so did she. We have completed the 7th trial, which was the whole purpose of the book. And she just goes straight into Sex Town. And then in the middle of it,
about to climax.
Knock on the door. It's her sister.
Blackwell snaps some clothes onto them.
Because he can do that. Snap things on and off. And she comes in. They're one big little happy family.
I did notice that she made sure to describe what clothes she had on.
Oh, yeah. which sounded
Blackwell.
beautiful.
Yeah.
All the clothes were great.
Yeah. Sister's like, I see exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
I thought I like to sleep around. Congratulations, you're having sex with a phantom.
Love it.
Crazy. Let me get to know him.
Yeah. And, then they made up. They basically just came to the terms with, like, if we lose our family home, that's fine. It's not worth it. Blah, blah, blah. Also, we find out that the reason her mom took out all that debt was because she was trying to hide from the father.
Yeah.
And she had bought another home somewhere else. Which seemed very...
like a lie to me.
Well, it just seemed like,
Yeah.
like, all this buildup and all this crazy stuff, and that's what you give me? But okay.
Yeah, I wish it had been on, like, hookers. I don't know.
Hey. And then, so basically, she says, hey, girl, I'm going to finish this up because I need to get Blackwell either out of here or I just need to make sure I don't lose 10 years of my life. Mm-hmm. So you can go home and I'll finish this up. Mm-hmm. And so she's like, okay. She says her whole name. She says she submits. Is that what it is? I submit to Phantasma or something.
Yeah.
So her sister's gone and safe. So we're happy about that. So she does the 8th trial and she opens it up and she sees her sister. But it's 2 versions of her sister. Mm-hmm. And she's supposed to pick which one is the right one. Mm-hmm. If she picks the wrong one, the real life sister dies.
Yeah.
And
so she's unraveling.
She's unraveling.
Realizing what day was the last Phantasma. Blackwell, when was the last Phantasma? And he's like, see, this is why your sister couldn't stay. Because then you were both going to kill each other. Mm-hmm. You were all going to die. Mm-hmm. Then we realize that's how her mom died.
Which was a good twist.
That was a good twist. Because their dad had gone into Phantasma and made it to that level. And then
made it to that level. Guessed the wrong one. Her mom had died, and that's why she was just laid out on the living room floor, and they couldn't figure out why she had died.
It wasn't a heart attack or whatever. Yep.
Because he picked the wrong one. Oh, men.
Yep.
But
also,
she asked her something.
It's so cute. What did she ask her?
Like, who was your first kiss? Or how many men have you kissed?
Yes. And one of them says 11. And the other one says, like, I don't know, it's too many to count, something like that. Like, it was not precise. And then she said that because in her memory, she could think of 11 guys. But then she also knew that her sister wrote down every single note ever. Mm-hmm. So then she was like, neither of you are right. Because it's been more.
Yeah. So she chose neither.
Yeah.
This was about 2 a.m. when I was finishing that part. So,
which
I'm
was
glad
right.
She remembered that. Which was right. So she picked neither, and her sister did not die. So at this point, she said, I'm not doing that 9th trial. Let me just open a door. Mm-hmm. Which she had opened a door before via her, like, necromancing powers. Mm-hmm. But it was also really breezed over. We're not sure why she could do any of that. She opens the door, and this is the part where I'm just going to, like, pick up some experts from it.
She's opening a door that, like, she's looking behind her mind to, like, go into the
veil almost, like the other side of the veil. Okay. That's not good for kitties.
She's trying to find, like, what do they call him? The main guy. The guy that runs the...
Yeah, so the guy that runs Phantasma is the Prince of Devils.
Yeah,
so we did
find that out.
And we do find out at some point he's trapped there.
Mm-hmm. He's cursed to live there.
He's cursed to live there.
He fell in love with a mortal.
Yeah.
And his dad, the king of the devils, was like, fuck you, now you have to go be in a Phantasma.
Yeah. Okay, so she enters this, like, weird place where she's behind this door. And she's looking for the Prince of Devils. He's nowhere to be found. She's like, man, I really want to do this on my own. So she waits around for a second, and then she's like, all right, I guess I'll call Blackwell. So he pops up. It's like, where is he?
Yeah.
He was unnervingly silent. She narrowed her eyes. Something seems different. Blackwell, she whispered. Firstly, let me reintroduce myself. He dipped his head in a formal bow. My name is... Holy shit. Salem... Sheesh. You say it.
Salem Maestris, Erasmus Blackwell.
Period. So, I, for one, have guessed this way before.
Same.
I'm like, okay, you're telling me the Prince of Devils is like, it's cursed there. And you've also told me that Blackwell is cursed there. Blackwell can't remember anything.
Yeah.
I've guessed it. But
yeah.
Still, that was, I was kind of happy we got that.
But I was so hoping that I was going to be wrong and it wasn't going to be him and he was going to be freed with the heart, and not be the Prince of Devils.
Yeah. Who is, as far as we know at this point, running this show.
Yeah.
Which seems like he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, that sucks.
But you've been having sex with him the whole time.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be the bad guy.
So now we have popped into a flashback immediately after that bomb. And I'm just going to read a couple of things from that. This is basically him realizing that his human lover had been taken way back when. So he pops into the King of Devils throne room and he is like, Daddy, where is my girlfriend?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, actually he says, where the fuck is she? His father laughed. Is that how you greet your father after all this time? Don't fucking play with me. If you don't let her go, I will burn all of Nocturnia to the ground. And the rest fell with it.
Drama.
The smile never left his father's face. Unfortunately, I do believe you would try such a thing, but there's one little detail you're missing, my prince. I know your true name. Salem felt his blood run cold, which also Salem, hot ass name. Whenever we
Blackwell,
first...
Boo.
Boo!
Salem.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like Blackwell.
Why does his dad have to know his name?
That is never made clear. That's your dad. He should know your full name from birth.
He gave it to you.
He gave it to you.
He decided it. That must be some type of a devil thing that we don't know about.
We just don't know about.
But that's something her editor should have been like, hey.
We should pop that in there.
Give us some backstory on why.
Because, at some point we do talk, there was something never give your true name to a devil. But they didn't give you a why. I know your true name. Salem felt his blood run cold. No, it couldn't be. He'd only ever given his true name to one person. ...
It was that woman. Can't trust a human.
Well, don't be too upset with her. After all, mortals are such fragile little things. So basically he had tortured her, and she eventually gave it up because no telling what he did.
Right.
Why are you doing this? She's done nothing to deserve it. Bring her out. She looks really bad based on what we're reading.
Yeah.
She was fucking hell. She was missing her incisors. What are those? The ones on the edge? Okay. And this is where it just really gets me.
Okay.
He says, Angel. So you're just calling every bitch Angel?
No. That's her name.
I know.
Oh.
But, Angel.
But okay.
I know.
We're gonna go
there.
to it. Yeah. Let me be patient.
I'm here, Angel. You're gonna be all right. I'm gonna fix it.
Yeah. When he said it the first time, I was like, no, he did not. He's still calling her. And I know he doesn't have his memories.
Yeah.
So it's okay. But,
yeah.
I was ready to fight. A book.
She's, crying for him. He's saying, stop. What do you want from me? Do you want me to beg? I'll fucking beg. It's much too late for that. I'll return to Nocturnia. Let her go back to her life. Don't move, Blackwell. His father's voice thundered through the room. Salem froze in place. A magic cold flooded through his entire being at the invocation of his true name. So Blackwell must be his real name.
You're right.
Or his true name, maybe. Like I said, some things are not made clear.
Yeah.
Ever. She says, I love you. He says, I love you back. I'm sorry you ever met me. I'll never forgive myself. Don't forget me, never. You promise? I swear, Angel, he vowed. Basically, he says, did you think taking her away was your only punishment?
I mean, that kind of sounds like a big enough punishment.
That was pretty bad. Salem suddenly felt very tired. His father knew his true name. We still don't really have any information about that. But maybe that's something that people who know a lot more about devils would understand. I don't know. He basically says his full name that I cannot pronounce. I am hereby sentencing you to my newest creation, Phantasma, a place of nightmares that you will rule with no memory of the traitorous little bastard you've become to me. And maybe you'll eventually learn how to deserve your title, Prince of Devils. You will belong to Phantasma and myself evermore unless you find the heart and a key to set you free. And if I do set myself free, you'll receive a fair reward. What's your price? And he says, I want every soul who knows my true name to forget it. Which seems like a big deal, but I, don't know it. He's like, okay. And then basically he's sent to Phantasma, and that's how he gets trapped there. And then we do a little, pop down, and it says the King of Devils watched his son disappear from the palace. He calls in some woman, and he's like, all that's left is to choose who will receive the mortal soul, and how long should I assure the necklace be worn before the soul's released and reborn. So basically we've got the heart necklace back in play here. We've put the soul of Angel into the necklace, and then apparently one of her ancestors is in the dungeon down there, and she wears it, and then eventually
they say that
wears it.
500 years from then,
a millennia is what he said.
The soul will be reborn.
Yeah.
So she's the heart, and the necklace is the key, something like that. And so she is like Angel reincarnated,
which I don't love, because did he ever really love Ophelia?
Feeling, and it was pulling him towards her.
I wouldn't like that. And also, do not call me Angel if that's what your dead ex. That was her name. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
At all. She didn't get it, she says. I don't get it. Me neither, Ophelia. Basically, he says, he's being really weird, by the way. At this point, he says, I can't remember anything until I get to this level. So we are acknowledging that he is both Prince of Devils and Blackwell. He's got both of those memories, but he's being very weird. Like he's not being the same Blackwell that we have got to know during this whole however many pages.
Yeah. Now we have, 20 pages left?
Yeah, we're here. That's how much we got left. He's being very weird, and then he's like, hey, you're here too early. You didn't finish that last trial, but I need you to leave. So I'll take half of that off. Since you couldn't find the heart and the key, I'll take half of that off. I'll only take 5 years of your life. That's your wish. And she's like, what?
I won.
No, I won that.
Fuck you.
I killed a guy and everything. He's like, what'll it be? And she's like, you tricked me. And so now and then he's like, don't feel bad, Angel. He's still calling her Angel, even though he has those memories.
Yeah, gross.
Ew, I don't love it. I just really just do not love that. Basically, they talk about how the first time that she met him, obviously that was the real version of him. Apparently the cat was in on it. We didn't talk about the cat, but there was a cat involved.
Yeah.
Was any of it real? She whispered. As real as it could have been with only half of my memories. So it's still not clear. Do you love her or not?
It still sounds shady.
Yeah.
Well, they're not supposed to love each other, because then you get cursed.
Yeah, that's true. She basically then says, I love you.
Cursed.
And she's like, that's it. What you've been searching for is me, this, and yanks her necklace off. Oh, God. Now we're back.
She can feel the pulsing of the necklace or something.
Yeah. And she takes it off, and then apparently she starts to die a little bit. Her heart slows down. Apparently she needs a necklace to live, but she didn't need it when her mom had it on. But she needs it now that her mom's dead, and she took it from her. Also very unclear. But what about the key portion, he asked. She shook her head. Dad, I'm not sure. Maybe the key's inside of it.
But she couldn't open it. She's tried.
Here, my heart, it's yours. She hands him the locket. If you give this to me, you'll die. Do you understand that? And basically, she uses her, devil's wish.
To live.
To live, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. But this all happens. We just do an info dump in the last like 30 pages of the curse and everything. It was a lot of world building in the back, which is interesting. And then they get out and they live happily ever after in her home because he snaps his fingers and her debt's paid off. And
he doesn't go back to being the prince.
No,
because everybody's forgotten his name.
Forgot his name, which is convenient.
Yep, they worked out her curse. They worked out her heart thing.
So she gave the heart. That was her wish. But she said, "I love you," and she was cursed. But how did the curse come off?
That was the wish.
That was the wish. So the heart.
Thing.
He said, "You got to give me your soul. I swear I'll give it right back." That shit was so funny. He was like, after all of that, he was like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, I need this locket and stuff, but you're gonna die. So like, give me your soul. I'll fix it up. Yeah, I'll give it right back." And she was like, "I don't think so."
And then she's actually like, "Okay."
Well, she says, "Is there like anything else? Is there anything else we can do?" And he's like, "Oh, actually, you could have just gave me two options from the get-go, but okay, partner." And he's like, "Yeah, you could just like tie your life force to mine, so you'll live as long as I live." Very convenient for her, because she gets to live forever.
And you love each other.
And you love each other. I think. Shit. Stop calling her Angel. And she's like, "Okay, yeah, I'll take that option." So that's what it happens. Like, he gets the heart, so he gets free, and his name is forgotten. Her life force is tied to his, so she lives forever, and she uses her devil's wish to get the curse away. So then that's what it was.
Yeah.
And then they went back to the house and they lived with her sister, and everything was fine. And then the second book comes out, and it's supposed to be about her sister going to Europe, and there's also more trials. There's another game she enters or something. And that was Phantasma. There's also a part where she tries to make Blackwell jealous, and she like hooks up with another devil.
Yeah.
And like lets him, finger blast her a little bit. And she didn't want it, and it was really, really uncomfortable. I did not like that. At all. But I'm not saying this is a terrible book. I read it all in like 2.5 days.
Yeah. I feel like I read it really fast too.
Yeah. It was a fast read. I just think
needed some more like
it was a really, really good concept.
Depth, yeah.
And it could have been explored a little deeper.
Yeah.
But what did you rate it on Fable?
I didn't rate it because I feel afraid to rate things on Fable.
Oh, why?
I don't know. It just feels like a lot of power. Like, am I going to rate this person on their book? And if I don't give it like a 5 out of 5, something's going to happen? Because I just want to give them a 5 because I want them to have, success.
Yeah.
What did you rate it?
A 3.
Okay. Out of 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's only because I used to rate everything a 5. When I go to Walmart and do self-checkout, I hit 5 stars because I'm just like, I want everybody to be happy, and success like you. But I've been trying to like really objectively rate books recently. Because I read a lot of junk.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm just in the mood for like a really nasty somebody story. And I'm like, was that good? No, like it was objectively really bad, but I had a good time. So I'm trying to really think.
But if you have a good time, it doesn't matter if it's a bad book.
No, it does not matter at all. I liked this book.
Me too. I had a good time reading it.
It was fine, but it's not 5 stars to me.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if I had to put it on paper, I'd say 3.5. But I'm not going to. Yeah. I'm just not going to rate it at all.
That's okay. I mean, and I think it's rated like 4.5 on Goodreads or Fable or whatever.
Yeah.
So
I can see how like other people that aren't as nitpicky.
Yeah.
As you and I feel like we're really picking at it together.
Oh yeah, we are.
Yeah. Which is fun.
But like I said,
part of having a book club.
Yeah. I didn't publish a book, so Kaylie. I think it was fine.
Yeah. It's really pretty too.
It's very pretty. What is your pick? It's your turn to pick for the book club.
I do want to read Quicksilver.
Yeah.
I feel like I've made up my mind on Quicksilver.
Are you sure?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So next book will be Quicksilver. And it's by Callie Hart. It's really popular right now as well.
Yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Something less popular.
No, that's good.
Cool.
Maybe you can recap that one?
Sure.
Do you feel good about that?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll let you recap that
Which means I'm going to actually pay attention and like annotate it or something.
Okay. It's fun. I should have done that with this one, but I kind of just was like trying to fly through it because I waited till the last minute. I also had a comment today from a listener. You know who you are, Daniel. He said that
you can't name drop.
I didn't say which Daniel. He said their movie we were talking about, where I said it's Cow Farm. Of course, there's gonna be cows outside. He said that was Barnyard.
Oh, okay. It's Cow Farm.
Of course, there's gonna be cows outside. Yeah.
Did that happen whenever I was telling you about my gorilla dream? Oh my gosh.
The only other thing I have on my list is how hard it is to get these bitches to watch Pride and Prejudice.
No. Not me. Because I said, yeah, let's do it. The problem is, have we ever sat down and actually watched a movie? We could talk about that. I came over. Why did I come over?
Because I asked you to after dinner
we went
the
to
other
dinner.
night.
Yeah, we went to dinner, and then after we came over to hang out, and James and Aaron went on a little excursion, and you and I sat on the couch and put the TV on. You were talking about Pride and Prejudice, and I was like, yeah, sure. I might have even said those exact words. And then we just talked.
Yeah, we just ended up yapping the whole time. And then we made crafts.
Yeah.
She said, we should just do a craft. And I was like, okay. So that's what we did. Well, so you're not the problem.
I'll watch it. We just got to sit down and watch a movie without talking.
Which is hard for us.
Yeah. We should have been recording the pod while we were just sitting and talking.
Yeah.
Just have the camera in the corner.
So I guess I just mean mostly Lainey.
Yeah.
But it
I
still
heard
shocks
you just
me.
rewatched it, so.
I rewatch it like once a month.
Oh, okay. So I'll catch you on next month's. Okay.
I'm just so surprised you haven't seen that. It's such a good movie.
I think there's a lot of movies that I haven't seen. Just out of like, I don't care. I don't know. I'm not like a...
Have you ever seen a man do this?
What? No.
Flex his hand because he can't handle how it felt to touch the love of his life's hand. You'll never be the same.
Okay, well, I'll have to watch it.
Yeah, I need to go rewatch it right now, actually, now that I'm thinking about his hand.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, well, that's all, folks. Thanks for being here for the recap of Phantasma. Hope y'all enjoyed. Quicksilver's the new book for next month. We put out new episodes every Monday, and I stream on Twitch. If you want to see me play some video games, TikTok's going away. So
maybe.
Possibly.
Doesn't affect me. I didn't even have it.
She doesn't have it. So TikTok might be going away, and that's unfortunate. But I make YouTube videos. All that good stuff. So follow me on everything. My name is Torrie Jade on everything, and the podcast has a page on everything called That's Unfortunate. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.